Welcome to the Pip and Pin podcast. I'm Megan Nodecker, and I'm coming to you from Abbotsford, British Columbia. It's about an hour outside of Vancouver. And you can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin, on Facebook as Pip and Pin, and on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin. And we also have a Ravelry group called Pip and Pin. Imagine that. So I feel like it's been a long time, but I don't think it really has. I think it's only been 2.5, maybe 3 weeks. But for some reason, like Knit City ended, and then it just felt like a catch up, and I finally feel like I'm like catching up with housework and life and getting things organized. And I mean, there's still like boxes of stuff kind of in my Jeep, but routines have started back again, which is nice. But it feels like Knit City was so long ago already. So I don't know. I don't know why, but it feels like it's been a really long time. So sorry, I guess. I don't know. I'm going to start with some news, I guess. On November the 4th, which is not this weekend, next weekend, I'm going to be doing my very first trunk show. So I will be at 88 Stitches out in Langley with the lovely ladies there, and I'll be there from 12 to 4 with all my samples. I know I saw lots of people at Knit City, but if you weren't able to make it there, or if you didn't get a chance to stop by because it was so insane crazy, then you can come see me at 88 Stitches. And I'm gonna double check this, but I believe when I'm there, I'll have paper patterns for sale that also include digital downloads. And I believe when you're there, if you purchase yarn to make one of those patterns, then you get a discount. And I'll double check and I'll make sure I write up everything about it in the show notes. But I'm pretty sure that's usually how they do it. So I'm really excited about that. I'm kind of nervous because it is, I don't feel like I have a ton of stuff yet. A ton of stuff that I'm super proud of and would want to bring, but I'm pretty excited. I usually go to 88 Stitches Knit Nights, and which thankfully they're starting up again. So tomorrow I'm actually going to be at the Knit Night there. And I just really love going there. Like, it's such a great, if you've never been to 88 Stitches, come on Saturday, but also just go in general. They have, I love going there with Georgia because everyone there is very, nice to kids. There's a little kids section that she can play in, and it's just a nice, cute little store, and it has sweet fiber, which is always a struggle to leave not buying some of that. In other stuff, Katie and I recently did a photo shoot. I guess this was a week or two ago. We took the kids down to Kitts Beach in Vancouver and took some photos of some new stuff. The Carolyn shawl that I showed last week, we took some photos of that. So hopefully that will be, it's in the process of getting all put together and lovely. So that one should be released soon, which is very exciting. And then we also took some pictures of a new shawl. It will be a new shawl to everyone else in the world. I've actually been working on this one for about a year, and I, for some reason, just never, I didn't really want to release it in the middle of summer because it's quite wintry and pictures and things, and so we took some pictures of that. But we're going to have to take them again because photo shoots with 2 toddlers on a beach is just, it's too distracting, and it never really goes exactly how we want it to. So I think for that, I don't want to, we got some really, really nice ones of the Carolyn shawl, but for that one, it just so something wasn't quite right with all of them. There was no like perfect photo, so we're just gonna do them again at some point soon. So there will be a new shawl, two new shawls, I guess, coming out in the next little while. Yeah, I'm just gonna truck right along. I guess that's kind of all I had to say about that. I feel like I'm talking really fast, but maybe that's just me. Maybe it's because it feels like it's been so long and I'm kind of, nervous. My notes are down here. That's why I'm looking down there. Oh, yeah. And if you didn't notice, my setup is a little different today. I think I really like it. I kind of pillaged some things from our Knit City setup. So I got the pegboard set up behind me, a couple things there. Unfortunately, our space is way too small, so it's not a permanent fixture, but it's quite easy to set up and take down, and this way I don't have to move my bed. So we'll see how it goes. Tell me how you like it. I feel like I like the white behind me a little more than our yellow clothes wall. But anyway, yeah, you knew. I like it. I don't know. It's easy. We'll see how it looks, I'm looking over here, and yeah, everything looks really nice. Really nice right now. We'll see what it looks like on my computer. Oh, and speaking of computers, I was finally bit the bullet and got a new computer. So that's also really exciting. I think I bought my old laptop with money that Katie and I had made with Pip and Pin years ago. And I'm pretty sure, I think it was like the first round of crazy market winter that we had, where we did actually make, quite a bit of money. And I bought myself a new computer 8 years ago. Now it is literally falling apart. There are like screws keep popping out of the back, and it's not a Mac. So I was gonna get a Mac this time, but I just find that I don't really like. I just know PCs. I know how to use them. I like how they work, and Macs just seem either overly simplified or something. I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. And so the only reason I really wanted a Mac is because the monitors are friggin' amazing. I have an iPad with a Retina screen, and it's beautiful. So that was my reasoning for wanting a Mac this time. But then I went to the store and found that if you go up a class in PCs, if you don't get the bottom, the cheapest ones, if you go up one step, then you can get really nice monitors. So I did that, and I got a really nice computer for myself this year, which is a long time coming. I was getting kind of nervous, if something happened to my other one, then I would basically be computerless, and that would not work for me. Yeah, so I guess, what else is there? That's kind of it for news. I have a little bit of stuff that I want to talk about design-wise, I guess, but I'm going to save that for the end, so I'll talk about some other stuff later. I guess for knitting, I have some finished objects. I have quite a few finished objects, actually. Some of them are not here, but I do have pictures, so I can pop some pictures up. And those are I made a couple little gnome guys, and I'll just put a picture in here, and then I'll tell you about them. But these are the Never Not Gnoming by Sarah Shira. And they have three little sizes that you can do, and they're just super cute, super fun, using scrap yarn. And kind of the reason I made these is because at 88 Stitches, they're going to have a gnome village for their winter display. So I thought that was really cute idea to do. So they were asking people if they wanted to, make a couple of these gnomes and give them to the store for their display. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I have tons of yarn, and like this is just a fun, cute little thing to do. So they actually gifted me the pattern, which was really sweet. And I made a couple little gnome guys, and I'm probably gonna have to make. I'm gonna have to make Georgia one because she wasn't really sad, but she was a little like, Mom, you're being kind of crazy when I told her that we were gonna go and give them to the ladies at the yarn store. And yeah, she was at first she was kind of weird about that, but then I told her that I would make her one special for her, and she could pick out the colors. So then she was okay with it. So she came with me to the store to drop them off, and yeah, that was really fun. The second thing that I finished, I've been on a finishing kick. I think because after Knit City, no, not even after Knit City, just in the past couple months, I've cast on a lot of things. And so I'm usually quite a monogamous knitter. Not one project, but maybe 2 or 3 on the go. Like I'll have one big one small one, and then a pair of socks. Something like that's usually how it goes. And like all of a sudden I just had, I don't know how many, but like 8 things cast on, which was crazy. So now I'm pushing myself to finish the things before I start new things, and I have. So the first thing that I really wanted to get finished, because fall finally came to our little corner here. The first thing that I finished was George's sweater, and this is the saga of George's Gramps cardigan. I made her one the beginning of summer, and it was striped, and it was striped with pretty much every yarn, like yarn scraps from all the sweaters that I had made for Georgia and myself and Justin. So it had all the scraps, and most of them were the very, very end scraps. And it was really cute. It was all jewel tones. I finished it on our first camping trip, and yeah, it was just really, really sweet and beautiful. And it got lost. So I have no idea, not a clue what happened to it. It just disappeared. So I really love the pattern. It's Gramps by Tin Can Knits, and you can never ever go wrong with a Tin Can Knits pattern. I kind of want to make one for myself, which is wonderful because their patterns go from 0 to 5x or however big a large adult is. And so I probably am going to make myself one of these because it's just so cozy. But after the other one got lost, and I finally caved and figured that we would not be finding this, I took Georgia to the yarn store, and she got to pick out her own colors for a new one. And so she picked out pink and blue, and then darker blue, but I switched out the darker blue for a gray. And then I added the dark gray. And this is her little sweater. So I'll put some pictures in there too, because it's really, really sweet. And it is not blocked, and it is all wrinkly. She's pretty much worn it every single day since I finished it. And we went to the pumpkin patch, and there's just mud everywhere. And yeah, it's gonna be a well-loved sweater, that is for sure. And it just looks so cute on. We took some pictures at the pumpkin patch because I don't know, it's October and I want to go to the pumpkin patch, even though we've already been. We have a season's pass to a farm, and they do pumpkin things and corn mazes and stuff. So I took some pictures there. I'll pop those in too. So that's my first finished object. I'm probably gonna make more of these sweaters because they're just so quick and so easy and so pretty. So those are the two really finished things that I've done. I have a couple of like almost there ones. And the first one is finally, maybe, I don't know, is the Atlan sweater. This is a sweater that I have designed. I'm in the middle of designing it right now, kind of. Well, it's all written and things, but obviously the ends are not woven in yet. It is blocked, and I really am liking it a lot. It's a very simple top down simultaneous set-in sleeves, which is a really fun and easy construction method. I kind of messed up on some of the math at one point, so I had to literally cut the sweater in half and redo some math and re-knit the shoulder portion, kind of from like it's made almost like a raglan, and just the increases are in a different spot. So I basically had to re-knit from here to here, and then I Kitchenered it, and thank goodness, like you can't tell. So that was really, I was worried that there would be a line, but no, you can't really tell after blocking. Blocking is a magical thing. Oh yeah, there's still some holes at the underarms, but it's still, the armhole is still a bit long. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just being too picky. Like, I never wanted it to be a super fitted sweater. I'll show you. I think the sleeves are quite nice and fitted. Sorry if that's rubbing up on my mic, but so it was never supposed to be super fitted, but the armholes do come down quite a bit, which could be nice if you're wearing it over, like over something. Like my initial thought was to have it worn over like a flannel or something like that. So it was always meant to be worn over something. So maybe that's a good thing. Like maybe it is good that there's a little extra room there. I don't want to bring it in too much and then, have it so that you can't wear it under anything. I don't know if I'm just being too picky, or like what are your thoughts on armhole depth? Like every time I put it on, I'm like, oh, like actually I really like it. And the next time I put it on, I'm like, oh no, maybe I should change it again, because really it's not a ton of work for me, especially because I've done it a couple times now. It's not a lot of work for me to repair it. Like I think I would just have to cut it in half again and alter the shaping again, which is easy enough to do. But I'm just wondering if I'm overthinking it. Like, is it a big deal? I don't know. Not is it a big deal. Like I just can't decide whether I want it a little looser and a little more cozy or a little more fitted. Opinions would be nice. So if you have any thoughts on that, put them in the comments or Instagram or on the Ravelry group, wherever. Just wherever you can get a hold of me, tell me what you think. Other than that little thing, I'm really excited about this design, and we'll be taking some pictures of that when we do the retake of my other shawl. The other almost finished thing is, this one. A pair of socks. These are the socks I've been working on for a little while. They were the ones I was working on pretty much for 2 days straight at Knit City. And they are these Afterthought Everythings. And these are made with Joma yarns in Sacarino base. And this is the color Magnitude. Yeah. And then this one up top here is Midnight Cravings. And I think the color is Sidewalk. It was part of a mini skein set that I got, so I'm not entirely sure on the color name on that one. But yeah, so uh, if you've watched any of my other podcasts, you will know that I knit my socks in one big long tube and then cut them in half and then do afterthought heels and toes and cuffs. And so that's what I did with this one, except I did find that I don't particularly like the solid everything. Like I like having contrasting toes and heels, I think. Also, it was really tight in this part, like right here. And so it pulled the stitches and just didn't really look great. So I'm redoing them. And so this one is kind of half. Not redoing the whole thing. I'm redoing the heels, I should say. Which is really easy with afterthought heels. So I've decided I'm going to leave the toes, and then I'm going to do the heels with the contrasting. And what I'm doing to give myself a little bit more room here is after I picked up the stitches here, and I always pick up an extra 2 on either side, I've knit, I think the first time I did it, I knit 2 rows straight and then started decreasing. This time I did 8 rows straight and then I'm going to start decreasing it. And I'm also going to decrease more so that I have a deeper heel. Usually I've been leaving 16 stitches before I do the Kitchener, and I think maybe I'll go down to 10 even, because it was really tight and yeah, it just looked really bad. So we'll see. I was working on those this morning, so those should be done today, probably. I really want to wear them. I really love them. And I guess I'll keep right on socks, because this is a whip that I've been working on for some time, and some of you will probably recognize it. This is my Afterthought Everythings, and this is the gray-brown marl from Patton's Croy sock yarn. And so this is what I was talking about, knitting one big long tube, like literally just knitting one big long tube. And so I've done 2 repeats, or 4 repeats altogether. And what I'm going to do is I've had quite a bit of people asking for a tutorial on how to do these, so I went out and bought a little like stand for my phone, kind of. So I'm going to figure out a way to make a tutorial on how to cut in for the heels and toes, and basically just a recipe on. I'm not going to go in depth on how to do heels or anything like that, because I think everyone kind of has their personal preference on what they like to do. And I'll tell you what I do, but not in it's not going to be a pattern. It's going to be a recipe or tutorial. And so yeah, hopefully that'll be done in the next little while. I want these ones too. Except these needles, I don't know if you saw pictures on Instagram, but they have like destroyed, I don't know if that's going to show anything. They've destroyed my finger. Yeah, it's awful. I keep having to find like different places in my hand where I can actually knit on these ones. But I think the needles are a little small for me anyways, so I probably won't be using them again. Worth it though, because I really like the sharp tips, and kind of a trade-off. These are the Xiaogu lace. Great needles, quite dangerous. Be careful. And I've been trying to figure out. I don't know. I've sorry, I just got distracted for a minute. I've been trying to figure out what to do for the heels and toes and cuffs because I'm not too sure that I want to. I have another ball of this yarn, so I could do them in the stripe, but I don't know if I want to do that. So I'll see what I have and do some diving. And the last whip, I guess, is my portage cardigan, and this is something that I am working on for myself, which is always a nice little treat because I kind of don't usually do that. But this is with yarn that I've got from Knit City, and it is Poppy Yarn and Fiber. Of course, I just closed my book. Poppy Yarn and Fiber, Galway Sport, and the colorway is the Scholar. So it's this lovely, lovely green, brown, kind of beige, gray mix of loveliness. And here's the back. And so this is a raglan with some texture and some really, really cool pockets. I think I've posted a photo of it before. Maybe I'll pop in another one here. And yeah, as you can see, this is where I was last podcast, and that's how much I've been working on it. I took this to I took this to my in-laws' house for the Thanksgiving weekend, and this was the only project that I took because I wanted to make a big dent in it because I know that I have some deadline knitting and some work knitting to do, and I wanted to make a big hole in it before all of that came up. And I'm actually playing with the gauge quite a bit. The pattern calls for DK or even worsted. I'm not sure. I'm using a sport. My original intention, I was going to do a fingering, but this is just the yarn that I found and loved, so it is going to be sport. It's quite a loose fabric. Like, I keep thinking that I'm doing this part wrong because everyone else's looks so like different, so plush. They're just giggling over there. But I think it's just because my gauge is quite a bit different. And the reason I wanted to do that is because I'm playing Yarn Chicken, and I know that it will stretch out quite a bit, and I don't know if that's just what I decided to do. For some reason, I just like never following designers' instructions, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But I'm really, really excited about that. Hopefully I can get some more work done on it. I have a couple things for outside. I have a project for Knit Scene that I'm going to be doing for their next winter, and I'll show you some swatches for that I have. But yeah, so that's something that I will hopefully, maybe for Christmas. Maybe that'll be my goal. Maybe I'll try to make it a Christmas present for myself. I think that's a good idea, right? Yeah. Yeah. Wrap it up and everything. I won't wear it until nice Christmas colors. So that's it for my works in progress and my this close to being finished projects and my finished objects. And I have a little bit of stash, and then there's something new that I want to talk about. So last weekend, no, 2 weeks ago, there was a trunk show at 88 Stitches, and for Abby Doll, and she's Abby Knits, ABBYE DAHL. I'll put it all down there. Anyways, there was a trunk show for her, and she designs beautiful hats. She just released a book called Close Knits, and like this is her photography. She's a photographer as well, and her photography is so like lovely. Very saturated, very colorful. The model is gorgeous, and these hats are just absolutely beautiful. So I went down there to, we've also been chatting on Instagram quite a bit, so I went down there to go say hello and so cute. And buy a copy of her book. And so we got to hang out for a little bit, and she signed it for me, so that was really sweet. And I tried on some of the samples, and they are so cozy. And the one that really caught my eye is Two Birds. And so this is kind of has a large brim, and you flip it up on one side, and I felt like I needed to be in like a Dick Tracy comic book or something. Just hanging out in the 20s. The only, like, yeah, no, I loved it. But the only thing that I'm thinking about afterwards is I wear glasses, and they're large, and I wear them all the time. And when I was trying it on, I like took off my glasses, and I really loved it without my glasses. And I do have contacts, but in all honesty, I don't ever wear them. I am way too lazy to do that, and it just doesn't quite look right with contacts. So I think what I'm going to do instead is try this one. Sure, honey. Is I'm going to do this one. And what was this one called? Champagne and Lace. And I might not do the lace section over top, but I just think the shape of this one, it has a slightly smaller brim. So I might do that one instead. I did buy some yarn for it as well. And this is gorgeous. This is Malabrigo Rios in Cumbersita, and it's this beautiful, oh, it matches my shirt, lovely purple, red, wine, beautiful colors. And so, oh, again, there's some pop of red in there. And so my original intention was to do the Two Birds with this color, and then I have some, it's right here, I'll just grab it. And then I have some Cereza that I was going to pair with it for the Two Birds. I think that was kind of the intention. My plans may have changed. I don't know. I just want something that I will wear lots, and I feel like large brim glasses is just a little much. So I'm going to try the shorter brim, possibly with the lace. Maybe not. Maybe I'll find a way to incorporate that somehow. I think that one actually does have, let me see. I think maybe that one, like they're all double thick brims. So I think I could probably do the same kind of idea of having the two colors, like the one brim color underneath and just a little lining of red. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, definitely go check out her patterns though, because like sometimes I'll just be on Ravelry, like browsing like you do, and I'll see a beautiful photo, and I'll know instantly, like, that has to be Abby's, because her photography is just so beautiful and so unique that you know. So that's it. That's all I got. Again, yeah, I'm not a huge, but there is one more thing that I kind of wanted to talk about, and this is something new for the podcast, and something that I think I might want to incorporate a little bit more of. And I I think I just want to start taking some time to talk about some design stuff because I've gotten quite a bit of feedback that people are interested in knowing a little bit more about the design process. And I don't know if it's all going to be, designer stuff, but maybe just some tricks or tips or things that I find helpful or useful or whatever I feel like sharing. But yeah, I think that'll be good. It'll keep me on my toes a bit, I think. But the first thing I talked a little bit about last podcast, and that is my swatch book. This is an idea. I've always liked having my swatches. I've always liked keeping them. I like looking back at them. At one point, it was just a stack, which is fine, but I like writing and seeing and feeling, and so I had a book at one point that was it had pages in it, like just regular pages, and then those clear things that you like stick, like page protectors, you put the page in it. And I had that for a while, which was fine, except I found it very annoying to, you can't feel it. You have to actually open it up and like take it out and look at it. You can't write on it. You have to like take it out and write on it. And I found I just wasn't using it very much. So this is something that I think Soldier Teague talked about this one time, and it's friggin' brilliant. So I'm gonna share it. What I do, I don't know if this is exactly what she does. It might be different, but this is what I do. And this is a swatch that I did for Cascade Eco Plus for something new that I'm doing. And so it's a page like this, and you can feel it and touch it and write on it. This is a really heavy cardstock. So I just went to Staples, I have like more cardstock than I will ever use in my entire life. But I got a big thing of cardstock. I got a 3-hole bunch. And then I got these things. And I think they have different names, different places. But at Staples, they are prong fasteners. I really hope this box doesn't open. They'll explode everywhere. But basically what they are is a 2-part thing. So you have this part, this little guy, and then you have this other little guy. You can buy them separately too. I almost made the mistake of like buying separate, like only one piece, but they are 2 pieces, and they sell these and they sell these, and then they sell them together. So make sure you get the ones that have them together. And all you do is you take this piece, pop it through, and then flip it down. Slide these guys over, and flip it down again. So that's what I use to attach it. So you'll see this guy goes in like that, and I just stick it through the paper. You don't really need to make holes or anything. You're not gonna, you're not gonna see anything. It's not going anywhere. I just stick it right through the pages, and then there's the fastener on the back there. And that way, it's attached. You can look at it, you can feel it, you can touch it, you can, I have the yarn name at the top usually, and then what needles I use, what stitch it's in, the gauge if I feel like measuring at the time. And I've also started putting the date because I'm a big geek, and I think it's neat to know when things were done. So this is another, sorry if that was really loud, I just didn't have anywhere to put those. This is another swatch with Cascade Eco that I did, of the cable, and then I actually have like the instructions on how to do the cable, the gauge, and like just some different information about that. And I have them all in, these of course aren't in there yet, in a book. I'm going to have to go to the thrift store and find some more binders because this one's getting kind of old, but well, not old, but just very filled. But then you have a whole book of beautiful, some of them are beautiful, some of them are not, some of them are boring. But I mean, you have all these different things and different dates, and some of them became projects and some of them are nothing yet. But like this, it was the swatch for acreage, a sweater that I did for Brown Sheep Yarns. And what else is in here? Oh, these are the swatches for hit myself in the face. Not recommended. These are the swatches for the Williamsburg top, and that was in knitwear in last spring. So that was, I didn't have the month on here, but yeah, these were swatches from 2006 that I did. Oh, this is for the Bernie hat and mitten set. Like, it's just, some of them are nothing. Like this one is a random little shoulder piece that I made at some point. I probably did it for a submission and then, you know, either didn't get around sending it or it got rejected or whatever. And oh, this is going to be a cardigan one day. So cute. But yeah, so that is how I do it. And I don't have all of them in here. Of course, I really only keep the ones, well, no, I keep them all, but I don't put them all in the book because that would be insane. That would be a lot. But like the ones with a new yarn or a new stitch or something, here's the original swatch for Quenelle had 3 different stitch patterns and it was going to be gray. I'm glad they told me to do it in a different color. Yeah, so that's how I organize my swatches. One day I would like to, you know, make a blanket or something or do something really fun with them, but for now I just use them for reference. And that's about it. And I think for today that's it. I feel like there might have been something else that I was going to talk about. That usually happens, but yeah, come see me at the trunk show. That's about it. That's my request. If you live in the area, to come and hang out with me. We can knit and chat and take pictures. It's fun. Yeah, so thanks so much for watching, and if you're new, then, you know, hit subscribe. I post usually, I'll probably start getting around once every 2 weeks again, now that Knit City's over and I can get back into life routine. I really like this setup, so I'll probably be doing that again. And that's about it. So yeah, thanks so much, and have a great week. Happy Halloween.